Okay, guys, today we're going to talk about rotations. Rotations, they're fun, they're awesome. It might seem a little confusing, but we're just going to follow the rules and it'll be super simple. So let's just jump right into this. We got 3 rules here. So 1, 2, 3. So no matter what kind of rotation question they ask you, just look at how many degrees you're spinning it in what direction, and just match it to one of these 3 rules and then do it. So rule number 1. Now, real quick, I'm gonna back up. If you guys see 90 degrees CCW, that means counterclockwise. Counterclockwise means you're spinning in a circle going to the left, so in like that direction. And 270 clockwise is like turning it going towards the right in that direction. And while these are both paired together, you will see as you do problems, if you spun 90 degrees counterclockwise, or if you spun it 270 clockwise, you will end up in the exact same spot, which is why they share the same rule. And the rule is, when you have a point, x, y, or in this case, a, b, you're going to take the x value, you're going to put it in the back as is, not change it. And then you're going to take the y value, put in the x slot, but you're going to take the opposites. So if it was a positive number, you change it to a negative number. If it was a negative number, you change it to a positive number. And that's it. So let's just jump right into this first example. So m, if I want to find my new m, I'm going to take my x value, put it in the back, keep it as is. I'll do it again. New n, right? Take my x value, put it in the back as is. But now I'm going to take the y value, the b, and I'm going to put it in the front, and I'm going to take the opposite. So if it's a positive 3, I make it a negative 3. If it's a positive 2, I make it a negative 2, and that's it. Now we can graph it and call it a day. So for m prime, I got to go negative 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's m prime. For n prime, I'm going to go negative 2, negative 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. N prime. And there we go, guys. For instance, a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation is like a quarter turn to the right. So 1, and I'm done. Or 270 clockwise. Okay, so it's like 1, 2, 3. Ends up in the same exact spot. My demonstration was amazing, I know. But that's it, it's all it is to it. So let's do one more example and then have you guys try one on your own. So let's try this triangle right here. So this triangle, to find my new A prime, E prime, and R prime. I should probably read the question first, even though I know it's the first rule. So we're gonna spin it 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. Again, 90 degrees counterclockwise fits this rule number 1. So I'm going to use my rule. I'm going to take my x value, put it in the back. I'm going to take my y value, put it up in front, and take the opposite sign. So let's see what happens. X values go in the back as is, 2, 1, 3. My y values go to the front, and I take the opposite. Now, all these are positive, so I'm going to make all these negative. So it turns to a negative 5, a negative 2, a negative 2. And now we're done. I can graph this. So let's do it. Negative 5, 2. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And that was A prime. I got to graph negative 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. That would be, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry. Yeah, negative 2, 1. That's E prime. And I got to do negative 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be R prime. Connect to my dots. And would you look at that? This looks like a 1/4 or a 90 degrees turn to the left. And that's it. That's it, guys. That's all you got to do. Now, I want you guys to try this example on your own, right? It's a quadrilateral. Still works the same way. Just instead of 3 points, you got 4 points. And I got one change to make. For these quadrilaterals, all these are perfect, but this L should say 1, comma, negative 1, right? Because this point right here is 1 to the right, it's positive. 1 down, that's negative, should be 1, negative 1. 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation about the origin. A go. All right, guys, let's check our work. So here we go. I got my new points. I took all of my x values and I put them in the back. Negative 2, 0, negative 3, 1. And I kept them the exact same. My y values, I brought them to the front. I used the opposite. Positive 2, I made it a negative 2. Positive 2, I made a negative 2. Negative 1, I made a positive 1. Negative 1, I made a positive 1. I graphed my points. I use this nice little purple color so you guys can see. And I know the shapes are overlapping on each other, but this does look like a quarter turn to the left. okay? You can visualize it. Some are better than others. If not, you follow the rules, it'll be in the correct spot no matter what. And that's it, guys. That's rule number 1. Now let's jump into rule number 2. This is a rule for if you do 180 counterclockwise or 180 clockwise. Again, both these share the same rule because if you were to do either one of these to one point, line, triangle, quadrilateral, whatever, it'll end up in the same spot. So what we gotta do is this. If you have a point A, B, or X and Y, right, you're gonna keep them in the exact same spots, but you're gonna take the opposite of both, okay? So that's all you do. For instance, let's do it for M and N. I keep the 5 and the 3, and I keep the -3 and the 2 all in the same spots. I'm gonna take the opposite signs. So this 5 and 3 are positive, so I make both of them negative. This -3 is negative, I make it positive. This 2 is positive, I make it negative, and there we go. That's it. Now I can graph this. -5, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be M prime. And I got 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And even though it may not look like it to you, this is a nice 1, 2 flip that way, or you could do a 1, 2 flip that way, ends up in the same spot. That is a 180 degrees counterclockwise or clockwise rotation. And that's it, guys. Let's do one more practice problem. Let's open up this flat. Again, to get my new ones, A prime, E prime, and R prime, I am going to keep everything in the same spot, just change the sign. +2, +5, well, -2, -5. +2, 2, +1, 2, -1, -2. +3, +2, -3, I just take the opposite signs in case all these are positive, so now they're all negative. I can graph this. Use my nice purple pen. Connect my dots, and it looks like a nice 1, 2 flip, 1, 2 flip, 180 degrees turn, however you want to call it. There is your guy right there, or gal, whatever. And that's it, guys. So I want you guys to try this one on your own. Remember that this point L should say should say 1, -1. Okay? So with that said, try it. I'll go. Okay, guys, check your work. I got my new prime points right here. Boom. Notice everything stayed in the same spots. I just changed the sign and everything. If there's a negative number, I made it positive. If there's a positive number, I made it negative. When I did that to all 4 of these, I just graphed them. I know it overlays on top of each other, but that's a nice 2 turns to the left or 2 turns to the right. I'm sorry, 2 quarter turns or 2 quarter turns left, 2 quarter turns right. Either way, there is your image, right? And that's it. It's all it is to it, guys. Now let's do this last and final rule. So this rule is for when you have a 270 counterclockwise or 90 degrees clockwise. You ever see any of those degrees in clockwise? You follow this rule. So how this rule is going to state is this. If you have a point X, Y, or in this case, A, B, you're going to switch the locations, but it's kind of similar to the first rule, but you're going to make the X value go to the back and take that opposite, and the Y value goes in front as is. That's how that one's going to roll. So let's check it out. M prime and N prime. What we're going to do is we're going to take the Y value, bring it up front as is, so 3 and 2. We're not going to do anything with it. Then we're going to put the X value in the back and take that opposite. So the +5, it becomes -5. It's a -3, it becomes +3. And that's it. Now let's graph it. And there we go, guys. You follow the rules correctly. You ain't got to try to figure it out if you don't want to. That is a 270 degrees counterclockwise rotation, also known as a 90 degrees clockwise. Either one, same spot. And that's how you're going to do that. So let's do one more practice problem, and then you guys will try one on your own. All right, so to find my new A prime, E prime, and R prime. Remember, I got to flip the spots. X goes to the Y, Y goes to the X, and I take the opposite of the X value. So let's jump right into it. My Y values. 5 goes in front as is, 2 goes in front as is, 2 goes in front as is. My X values go to the back, but it's a +2, I make it a -2. +1, I make it a -1. positive 3, I make it a negative tray. And now we're gonna graph it. That's it. And there we go, guys. I now just rotated this 270 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. Follow my rules, and that is it. Okay, so now I want you guys to try this one on your own. Again, same points. Changes L, instead of being a -2, it should be a -1. I want you guys to give me my new points, and then plot them. Go. All right, guys, so here we go. Here are our new points. I got A prime, X prime, E prime, and L prime. And again, I took the Y values, I put them up in front as is. I took the X values, I put them in the back, and I changed their signs. -2 became a +2, 0 is just 0. -3 is a +3, 1, -1. And there we go. I graphed them. I got this nice little purple quadrilateral right there. I know it's hard to see a shape on top of a shape, but that is a correct 270 degrees counterclockwise rotation. Done. That is it, guys. So rewatch the video if you need to. Remember, it's only 3 rules, and all you do is you figure out which rule you're using, find out your new points using the rule, graph them, and you're done, okay? Have a great day, stay healthy, stay safe, and remember, if you're ever having cereal, you pour the cereal first, milk second. Don't do it all the way around. That's just crazy.